Hey, happy Friday. Emily Smiley here. Welcome. Fess Up Friday. This is probably going to be a fairly short live today. I don't have a lot to share in length, but very, very, very important. So make sure that you catch the one thing before you hop off of here. My Fess Up Friday is, I must confess, it is my goal to pass along what I'm learning with my mentors as far as building my business online and all of those sorts of things. And I try to jump on here live, and I haven't. This is the first one I've done this week. I'm usually 2 or 3 times a week. So I really wanted to make sure that what I shared today was super valuable, since I usually am on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and failed to do that this week. So anyway, that is my fess up. And then I must also fess up that I have been a little bit again in the circle of training mode. How many of you, let me know if you've ever gotten stuck there. You're learning something new or scaling something different, and maybe you've done it before, but it's been a long time. Like, I get a lot of that online. Like, when I'm learning a new skill, I'm like, oh, I got this. And then I don't do it for a while. And then by the time I come back to it, I almost feel like I have to relearn it. And I did this for a long time before I made the jump to build online. How many of you guys can relate to that? I got in learning mode, not the actionable. So I was like, well, I need to have all my ducks in a row, and I need to know how to do this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And then I just literally go down the training hole, and I actually don't take any actionable steps on anything else. Am I the only one that's ever done that? Gotten down the training hole? It's important to keep it all, right? I have to remind myself that if I'm doing something, I still need to get other things done, right? It's common sense, really, but yet we all fall into that trap. So for instance, yesterday I was really trying to write get my new blog published and out there, and it was so hard for me to get it started. But then once I got started, I went down the content hole. Y'all, I have so much content written out. You might see a new blog every single day. But that's also why, thanks for the love, thanks for the hearts. That's also why I didn't get lives done. I get so mad at myself. Please tell me I'm not the only one that does this. And then I do the same thing when I'm training. So one of my business partners who we work together with this online thing, we are trying to get through some training. And then it's so hard to get it started. But then once we get started, it's whoosh, down the hole we go. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to get other stuff done. I'm supposed to be passing on this content for you guys that I wanted to share that was valuable. And I got to get this blog done. And I've got to get all of these other things. I'm not the only one. Thanks, Jamie. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm I'm kind of confessing all my faults that I've done this week. I've had a doozy of a week. And so, but that's not an excuse, right? It's so easy to make excuses in your business, and that is why the DMO is important. And for me, as a mompreneur, I have to have that week. By the end of the week, did I pass some information on to you guys? Did I get my blog done? Did I get some training done? And I know for most of us, we're, reading, we are always reading. So on that note, if you're reading a really good business book, drop the, even if you're watching on the replay, because I know most of you do, drop me the book. I'm looking for some new books that to read, and I have tons. That's kind of my jam. But I've read them all, and I'm in this consuming everything in sight. So, all right, the topic of today, get to the point, Emily. You said this was going to be short. The number one thing that you guys need to do if you are not doing, and I'm telling you, I've spoken with so many people this week. I didn't get a lot of lives done, but I got a lot of conversations in this week with people, which is awesome, is if you, which you should be, are building a business page, right? A public page, I'm not talking to those of you that are building your business on your personal page, which is fine, not fine, right? You should have a public page. And then after you get that likes campaign up and you get that 100 likes, like we've talked about in previous lives, you link it to your account manager. Make sure, especially if you manage more than one page. Oh, good. Okay, I'll have to try that one. Ask. I don't think I've read that one. Make sure that you have more than one ad account. I have talked with so many people that I don't know in the Facebook world of things, but if you are running, like right now, I think I have a traffic ad running, an engagement ad running. I think I have a couple of boosted posts or boosted videos, maybe like a sponsored, I'm trying to remember if I turned the conversion one on. Anyway, whatever it is that you're trying to run to put traffic to your page or your blog, your website or whatever, make sure that you have totally different, because a lot of people, for whatever reason, whoever you get in Facebook world, some of them are really great to deal with. I personally have not had any issues, but a lot of people this week, it seems like, have, and that's getting frozen, or they can't use it, or whatever the case may be, while they're trying to sort this out, right? And they're like, well, I didn't do anything. What in my ad was like, alerted that didn't get approved, or, whatever. If your ads or your stuff is not getting approved and you're not able to use that account, wouldn't you hate for your whole business to be? So if you are building online, please make sure, kind of a two-part thing, one's a bonus, I guess, have more than one ads account. So I have a couple pages that I manage. So technically I have a couple of ad accounts, and that is so important, because if you're dependent on driving traffic to your page or to, the people that you're wanting to reach out to, right? So you're attracting people to you, that attraction marketing, magnetic sponsoring, key, so that's not completely dependent. And the other thing is, yes, I always say, like my mentors told me, master one platform before you expand. But with that being said, don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? So when you're building online, make sure that you're not just building on Facebook. Make sure that you're collecting your people somewhere else. So that being said, make sure that you check out my newest blog. I've heard of people getting there. Yes, and they have all their clients. And if all of your clients are only on your Facebook page or your manager, how do you get to them? Like, you're totally up a creek, like with no paddle, because that cannot be the whole premise of your business, is what I'm trying to say. So if you are trying to build online, it needs to be either on different platforms if you haven't got your blog up and running, or you really need to make sure that you're collecting, your people, your information that you can from people, whether it's their website or they've opted in, or, if you have your YouTube channel and you've subscribed. Now, I have been slowly trying to move on different platforms, but getting my blog up and running was a really big deal this last year, especially in the newer realm where I'd had it before in the health and wellness, but not necessarily for Emily Smiley Live. So whatever it is that you're managing in your businesses, just make sure that you don't get to where Facebook controls all of your business. Because if you're not able to get into that ads account, or you're not able to collect your people or reach your people, how detrimental would that be to your business? And like now, like things change all the time, right? Like Facebook changes all the time. Sometimes you get somebody that's really good to deal with on Facebook, and sometimes they take a while, or you're like, okay, I don't understand why this got alerted, or I don't understand why this got held up. And I've spoken with all kinds of people where people are getting their accounts shut down. And then a lot of people that maybe have been influencers or big followers on Instagram, their concern is, well, what happens if that gets shut down? Or what happens if the likes go away, or I'm no longer an influencer? So just make sure that you're building smart. Just like I've told my network marketers to make sure that you're not branding, in one, like for your company, make sure you're branding yourself. I would say the same thing. Make sure that you're branding yourself, but that you're in ultimate control. You're not dependent on Instagram, or you're not dependent on Facebook completely for what you do. Now, Facebook is still the largest platform to be on, so I'm not saying not to build there. I'm just saying just to play it smart, because it seems to be happening a lot with a lot of different people. Things change. Like you're like, oh, well, I used that word in my last ad and it was fine, and then this week it wasn't. So hopefully that helps. If you have struggled with how to build, what your niche is, branding, your public page, like especially if you are building on, or you're like, I don't even know what you're talking about. How do I do this ads account? I can absolutely point you in the right direction to get you started, because that was me in the beginning. This all went over my head. But it was super helpful, and it's important if you're building online. It's an important skill set to learn. So it's worth it. So reach out to me, give me a holler if it's something that you're struggling with. Maybe I can help you clarify or work through that, or point you in the right direction. Or even if it's just answering a specific question, hit me up in Messenger, and hopefully I can answer that for you guys. All right, otherwise I have a lot of content that I've worked on for you, and I am excited to pass that along. I've been learning a ton with my community and my mentors and the people that I have been talking to and working through with some of this stuff. Got some new stuff coming down the pipe I'm excited about. So we have like a month or so left in not just this year, but this decade, which is so cool. So I encourage you to take this, use it, to just really put the pedal to the metal for the end of this year and propelling your business forward, so that you can get that momentum going, so that you roll into 2020 like full force, right? Because it's a lot easier to keep the momentum than it is to push start a moving train from stopped. So get out there and get working and crush this. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great weekend. Bye.